Hey there, Floss Tube. It's Cathy, the hands-on designer, coming at you on a Thursday night. It's January the 3rd, 2019. Happy New Year. Welcome 2019. I had originally meant to do this 2018 year wrap-up last Monday, the last day of 2018, but I had foot surgery last week and I wasn't exactly feeling up to it. And I thought, well, there are no rules when it comes to this, so why can't I do a 2018 roll call, shall we say, in 2019? Why not? 2018 was a really busy year. We had lots of new releases, traveled to some fun places, met just some great stitchers, had a lot of fun experiences. So I just kind of thought I'd like to take a little bit of time. I'll go kind of quickly because I don't want to make too long of a video, but I'd like to do a little bit of explanation along the way. Some of it actually will give a few clues as to some items that are coming out in 2019, so pay attention. And I think I'm also going to give you a view to two designs, the first two designs of 2019 that are coming out that'll start shipping to shops next week. So let's, I even made some notes just to keep myself on track. And the funny thing I noticed was that the first thing in January, when I kind of really sat down and thought about what came out last year, January, there was nothing. And I thought, well, what the heck was I doing in January? January is usually the month when we flip the calendar. A lot of cross-stitch designers who go to the Nashville Needlework Market in March. January is when we kind of go, market is in 2 months. So maybe there's not a lot going out there, but trust me, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So January, all right, check one off the list. I didn't have any releases that month. So February, we did kick off with the, I always do, I've done this for about the last 4 or 5 years now. I do a little complimentary design because that is the month that my husband and I were married. So as a little Valentine, we were married on the 6th of the week before Valentine's. I do it as a Valentine anniversary gift. I do a little complimentary design, and last year's design was I am home. And you could send a little self-addressed stamped envelope and get the button. And then some people did also were able to get the little piece of cotton fabric as well. Now, some years I do a little embellishment that you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope. I'm just going to give you a little hint and a little warning this year. Save your stamp. There will be a complimentary design. I'm working on it, but I didn't do an embellishment this year. So hold on to the stamp. Maybe next year I'll do one. So some years I do, some years I don't. If you didn't get this chart, you can find it on my website. Look at, say, one of the blog posts from about a year ago. Generally, it's like late January, early February is when I post those. You can also get those on the Hands-On Design Stitchers Facebook group in the files section. I also did a little chart for Silver Needle. I was part of their Circle of Friends Stitching Club. She gets like 5 designers every year, and we do a club kit. And to get it, you do have to be signed up for the year. So I didn't really advertise this one, but I thought I would share a picture of it with you. This one was called The Little House. I don't actually have the model of this one, so that's why I thought I'd show you the picture. Now, if you didn't get this one and you're going, well, I wanted that one. This is actually kind of a design style. I've taught a few classes in this kind of a format. This is something I've been exploring, so you'll probably see something similar, not this one, but something similar at some point down the road, so never fear. We also kicked off, oh my goodness, I buried it. You should see my table. I have a ton of stuff on it. But by now you're familiar with the collaboration that I do with Priscilla Blaine, chalk artist Priscilla Blaine. She does the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch Floss Tube videos with her daughter Chelsea. And we did another series. This was our 3rd series, the first the magazine, then the Chalk for the Home, and then this year we did Chalk on the Farm. So the first one up was Fresh Eggs Farm, the introduction of all those chickens. It was the year of the chicken, I would say. So this, you got the large sampler piece and then the small sign. So Fresh Eggs Farm was the spring and the first up. Sorry, I got to make room on my table as I go. So that was out in February. Yeah, that was it. I'm looking at my list here. Okay, so March, that's when I went to Nashville. And even though I do releases throughout the year, Nashville's kind of like a big release time for a lot of designers. And I introduced several series. And this year I introduced White Christmas. It was kind of my celebration of what I call the quiet colors of Christmas. I don't know why I always say quiet colors really quietly, but there were 9 ornaments. Started off with Tree Farm, Cut and Carry, and we also had Zinc House Row. And I have loved all the different color renditions that everybody has done. Some people said, well, I really wanted red, so put red in it. And I've seen some gorgeous, gorgeous finishes. So that those came out at Nashville. And, oh, I started another series. You know me, I'm big on series, or collections, sometimes I like to call them. I'm just fooling you into it. It's really a series. But it was the Laundry Company was the name of this collection of 3 charts. And this one was called Laundry, the Never-Ending Cycle. Fun little stitches. You can hear my cat in the background, sorry. They want dinner. They're gonna have to wait. But this fits into a 5x7. My frame was an 8x10. I just kind of did this fun little finish. And remember, these came with that bonus chart, a wash, dry, fold. I'm not gonna show that to you because it's actually hanging in my laundry room. So, the never-ending cycle, isn't that the truth? And I hope I don't seem like I'm hurrying, but I'm trying to I got a lot to show you and a lot to share. The last series that I had at Market was the Around the Holidays series, where I introduced you to the short stack drum and the flapjack pillow. And I teamed up with a few gals in the industry, Lois of Lady Dot, who does the hand-dyed trims and velveteens. You get a piece of that velveteen in your chart. And then of course, the Just Another Button Company ladies and their pin minis. That blue crab was new. And this was Oh Say Can You See? Finishing tutorial. I loved how you guys have embraced, I hate that you guys, you know what I mean. But I love how you've embraced finishing the drums. I thought, I don't know, will that scare some people off? But the tutorial is online and a lot of people have had really good luck with it. And then of course I've seen a lot of you finish, actually both, but we call this the short stack drum and the flapjack pillow. So while the sea isn't specifically a holiday, I was thinking more along the lines of your holiday at sea. I mean, any day you go to the sea or the beach should be a holiday, in my opinion. I mean, I live in Iowa. I live in the middle of the country, so that would be a true holiday for me. I'm going to put that over there. I also had stitch over 2 all the day through. Just a sweet little pincushion. It includes a little bit of wool, one for the front, one for the back if you finish it the way I do. 2 different 2-tone linen. And then it also came with charts and instructions for making, I call these my scissor fob, or well, it's a scissor fob, but scissor charms. I kind of was inspired by my Pandora bracelet. I should say my Pandora bracelets. But these were fun little finishes. You'll be seeing this finish again. This is really fun to do. So that was stitch over 2. And then this last one. Okay, this was the proverbial home. I talked a lot last year about how my husband and I were building a house, and obviously I'm in it now, so we got all moved in. But this was one I stitched that I really wanted to. This one doesn't travel on trunk shows. This actually hangs in my house. I did get contacted by, well, I always kind of thought that this would make a great wedding sampler. And I was actually contacted by a stitcher. I think her name was Sarah, and she was getting married last year. She's stitching it on, oh, I wish I remember her Instagram name. She's stitching it on a lovely shade of like a pale slate gray. Not dark like the chalk, but a real pale gray. Oh, it's beautiful. But she asked if I would help her chart a 2018 here. It took me a while, but I did finally get it to her. And I think what I will do in my next newsletter is I will include that little 2018, but I'll also include a 9 because, well, it's 2019 now, so, you know. But anyway, so I think this would make a great wedding piece. And so look for that in the next newsletter. That was Proverbial Home. And I typically do a little complimentary piece at market. And this one was just so cute. It's the little Farm Fresh pillow. My little heart on the back. And then the little Farm Fresh pin mini from Just Another Button Company. That was a big hit this year. So, all right. Okay, so that was March. Okay, so a lot. Whew, all right, you tired yet? I was. April, we had a few more releases. Okay, that's right here in front of me. I tried to organize myself because I told you this tabletop is full. So April, we saw the next 3 in the White Christmas. So we had Noel and Luminaria Lane, and I told you my story about how that came to be in one of my Floss Tube videos, I think. And then Christmas Eve. I have to say, I've seen a few renditions, posts where this had the red put into it, like the church was red, and it's so pretty. They're very pretty. I like my colors because that's how I designed them. I just think it's really cool when everybody changes the colors to make it their own. So, all right. And then we had the second release in the Laundry Company. That was self-service, loads of fun. And just these designs were so fun to do, to design, and they hang in my laundry room. I mean, I did get emails from stitchers saying, "Hey, did you ever think about doing a laundry room?" And okay, I don't necessarily always, before you send me all emails, "Oh, you should do this and you should." I do love that, but that doesn't necessarily always mean I'm going to follow through. When I had several actually say something about laundry room, and I thought, well, I'm building a new laundry room, so I use mine to decorate my laundry room. All right. And then in April was the first of my travels for teaching. I went to, let's see, I think it was in early April, I went to Lamont, Illinois, where I taught at Inspired Needle. Cathy Roganella is the shop owner there. And she hosted myself and Beth Seal of Summer House Stitchwork. She's a good friend of mine. And Beth, it was kind of like a logistical, like, okay, who's coming where and what and when. But Beth was actually went to Madison first to teach, and then she came down to Illinois and we taught together. And we've done this a few times now. We've designed pieces that go together. We've actually, I think we've done winter now, and then this was, I guess, is this spring? Yeah, this is kind of spring-like. Could be summer, no, spring. But we decided, we've had so much fun with this. When we come in, I teach a half day, Beth teaches a half day. We design our projects independently, so if we want to stitch it somewhere else, we can, because I'm actually teaching this in this next coming summer at the Minnesota Needleworkers Guild retreat. But what's fun is that it's fun to collaborate and keep our each of our own styles, but yet make them go together. So we sent out pre-stitching. So if they came to class with the pre-stitching, they were actually able to, oops, see my fun back. They were actually able to walk away with a completed piece. And I call this a little pocket pillow. See? Put my hand in there. And Beth designed a little, this one is called Crocus Blue. And Beth designed a little needle book that just kind of fits right in there. So it's just a great little accessory for you. As I said, I am teaching this one again. I get lots of emails when I teach. And by way of explanation, I always get lots of emails, are you going to release that? Can I get that pattern? Where can I get that pattern? Eventually, yes, most everything is going to be released in a regular chart. But when I design something for a class, and I'm going to show you other classes here, and please know that with all of these, Some I'm teaching again, some I will release. But the design is typically, well, how do I want to say? I do go through the design process with a specific finish in mind because, well, that's what I'm teaching in class. And so sometimes the design doesn't always lend itself right away to just a basic pattern, a chart that's in my catalog. And these take a little extra time sometimes. So I definitely like to be able to teach them several times before I release them. So, you know, that's, I guess, kind of a blanket statement is, yes, typically in most cases something will eventually be released, but sometimes I need a little time to teach it several times. So that was a fun one. I think Beth and I are going to do that again. We figured we have 2 seasons, so we have to have 2 more seasons, and then eventually maybe we'll release them in one big group or something like that. So something fun. So that, and when I came home, one of the best parts, one of the highlights was that we had Cathy Roganella sponsored a meet and greet at her shop the night before class. So Beth and I went, and Priscilla and Chelsea, the Real Housewives, live just, I think it was, well, maybe almost a couple hours away from the shop, but they drove down to come to the meet and greet. And, you know, Priscilla and I have, like I said, we've worked together now for several years, but we had actually never met face to face. So that was a lot of fun getting to meet both of them. They're just, you know, very sweet, very genuine gals. And I'm just so thrilled that we actually finally got to meet and I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. And I think I said this in one of my other videos after I met them, is they were exactly like I thought they were going to be. No pretense. They are who they are. Just a lot of fun. So anyway, so that was, okay, so I came home from Galleria and we literally started packing. And we moved into the new house. And I will forever remember, we moved in on April 11th and we had a snowstorm, not a snowstorm, it was a blizzard on April 12th. So we were kind of like, we moved out to the country and had this snowing sideways thing going on. It was like, what have we done? We got over that. But anyway, so that was April. May, we're almost halfway through the year. Every once in a while, I do special projects. And my friend Karen from So Much to Love, she does those lovely bags. She does a Bag of the Month program. And I've been fortunate that she's asked me several times now to do a special little design. If you do her Bag of the Month club, she stuffs that bag with charts and goodies and sometimes threads, sometimes pins, charms. I don't know, it's just, and you get this delightful bag. So this year I had the month of May. So I did a cute little May design. And this one, it says, follow the stars and find your safe harbor. And I will say, because somebody did say to me, how do you always match it so well to the pattern, to the fabric that she sends? Because she sends me what the fabric looks like. Sorry, trade secret. But anyway, Stephanie from Pam and Steph, Floss Tube, Stephanie was stitching this, and I got a lot of inquiries. Are you going to release it? Are you going to release it? So yes, it's going to come out for general release this year in 2019. So another little look ahead at what's coming in 2019. All right, and I promise I will. I'll finish it by then too. Oh, anyway, so that was in, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I should look up at the camera. That was in May. May was also busy because on a personal note, we went to the State Special Olympics. Our oldest son, Billy, he plays year round, and we are actually his tennis coaches. And he did a few other activities. He does all the sports, and we have an awesome delegation here. My husband serves on the board, and we're both coaches, and we just have a lot of fun with it. Billy did get a couple gold medals there. The next month, I'll talk about that a little bit more. He did actually qualify for the nationals this year, and that was just an awesome experience for our family. So very proud of him. Okay, also in May, we had, I don't want to be fumbling around on the table here. We had the second release in the Chalk on the Farm series, and it was Queen Bee Flower Farm for the summer. I just love this one. Had our little Bessie the cow, and it was the introduction of Ronnie, Priscilla's little doggy in that one, and bee skeps everywhere, lots of fun. And then I'm going to show you this. And we had the sign. I think I told you in an earlier video, I'm changing how I finish mine. You know, this little bow went on top. I originally mounted this on paper covered foam core. This one got wet, got damaged in shipping of a trunk show. So I'm changing how I finish it. So that's why it kind of looks this way. So I usually do, yes, finish the backs. But anyway, I'll get that taken care of one of these days. So next time, before it's got to go on a trunk show. All right, so that was Queen Bee Flower Farm. And then this one, Knee High. Someone was stitching this as part of their mania. This was originally in a Just Cross Stitch magazine, well, quite a few years ago. And I think it was actually about 4 years ago. And somebody was stitching it. And then I started getting messages from shop owners. Do you have this design? Can we get this design? So I went ahead and re-released it. And let me tell you, I'm always tickled when I see somebody stitching my designs, but with this particular chart, there were so many neat stories. Some, I'll be honest, reduced me to tears. And this has just been one of those pieces that I feel very honored that I was able to bring some childhood memories to life for people and in the stories that they shared. And whew, I still kind of break up a little bit when I've heard some of the stories. It's just been a really cool piece. Knee High by the 4th of July, obviously thanks to genetics and all that stuff. Corn is typically, you know, I live in the middle of a cornfield, and corn is way higher than the Knee High by the 4th of July, but it's kind of one of those old tales that you always hear about. Even I grew up in Pittsburgh. Who knew that I'd be living in a cornfield now? But I always heard that too. My dad grew up on a farm, so that was just always something we heard. Anyway, so this was released in May. And thank you to everybody who has loved that chart so much. Like I said, and thank you for sharing the stories. I think that's one of the really cool parts about this job. So in May, we actually left to go to Holland. How am I doing on time? Oh, pretty good. I'll speed it up a little bit. I went to Holland to teach. I had actually been working with Annemiek, who owns the Handwork Boutique in Roden, the Netherlands, Holland. For a couple years, we've been trying to get our schedules to mesh. So we flew to Iceland, went to Amsterdam, spent some time in Amsterdam. Then we took the train. My husband went with me. We took the train to Roden, and I taught there. Met some lovely, lovely stitchers there. And I did a blog post. You can see a little bit more about it. It's called Stitching the Universal Language, because I was a little nervous because I don't speak Dutch. But fortunately, a lot of Dutch people speak English. And between Annemiek and I, we were able to do a lot of really good translation. So this was the Stitch in the Garden, a little pin cushion, a great little pin set by Just Another Button Company. And then this little tray. And again, most people left with the whole piece done. And we didn't speak each other's language in some cases. So stitching really is the universal language, I think. I have not, again, I get emails, can I get this? I am actually teaching this again in April of 2019 at Reflections, Stitching and Framing in Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know if Julie has filled the class yet. She's also a floss tuber. So you may contact her to see if you can still get in the class, because I think she's getting ready to send out pre-stitching soon. So we'll do this, and with the pin cushion, and we'll do the little tray, and I always throw in some goodies for class too. Just always have a surprise. Eventually, yes, it will be released. Probably taught at least maybe one, well, obviously one more time. So that was the class that I taught in Holland. We went on to Paris after that and stayed with my sister-in-law and her family. Went back through Iceland, spent a little time there, met some puffins, went on a puffin tour. That was pretty cool. And what else did we do? Well, that was about it, but I'll make this really short. But I did a special little design for Annemiek in honor of going over there. If you're in Europe or overseas and you would like to get this, do contact Annemiek. She still has hers kitted. If you're in the States, I actually now have the chart listed on my website in the hands online section, and it does include the little bit of wool felt to create that little band in the pincushion. I also did put online at the same time the smallest seed. It's called The Smallest Seed Rooted Firm Grows to Shelter All. It was originally designed for Casa Sanina in Italy. They did this a couple years ago now, or maybe 2 years ago, that they were doing this as a fundraiser to help with earthquake relief, and the design came back to me. And so I'm not going to make this part of the catalog, the main catalog, but I'm going to keep it as a chart you can order on my website. I will mail it to you. It's a physical chart, but this is going to be my fundraising piece. So proceeds from this will get donated. I haven't tallied this year what the proceeds will be, but this year, whatever donation I make will go to our local Sioux City Special Olympic Sioux City Nights. Then next year I'll do a different place. So anyway, smallest seed. All right, so that took me we left in May, we got home in June. June was kind of a mishmash because we were getting ready I had some releases, we were getting ready, kidding like crazy, getting ready for the Silver Needle Retreat in July. And as I mentioned earlier, my oldest son Billy participates in Special Olympics, and we were fortunate enough he was selected to represent the state of Iowa in the Iowa delegation. About 30 athletes went, and everybody flew up to Seattle, the whole family did, and we watched him play tennis, and he won. He came home with 2 medals, a silver and a bronze in silver in mixed doubles and a bronze in men's singles. So that's all I'm going to say, because I can hardly ever talk about that without crying. And it was a very proud moment. So I'm just going to stop there. But anyway, so we had the last of the releases in June, and ended 2 series. One was the White Christmas. So we had the Reindeer Games, and we had the North Pole Trading Company. I love one of the best changes I've seen people make is with the buffalo plaid scarf. Some have done it in what I call the traditional holiday buffalo plaid of red and black. It's really cool looking. And then the last one, deer tier, just a fun little 3-tier tray. I always knew I wanted to design one of those. They fascinate me from a home decor standpoint. And I thought, how can we do that in cross stitch? So there you go, deer tier. So that wrapped up the White Christmas. We do still have the White Christmas finishing kits. That's really not something I ever plan on getting rid of. I get asked that a lot. You can order those. Your shop can order them for you. You can also purchase that on my website. As long as I'm still getting called for them, I'll keep stocking them, because I have they come with the little wool felt balls, and I had to order those from Nepal. Small world. We also ended the last of the laundry company, Irony, the opposite of wrinkly. This phrase has always made me giggle. I knew years ago that someday I would design a cross stitch chart. I mean, I own an iron. I don't iron any clothing. I use it for fabric and for finishing and quilting, you know. I mean, do we really wear... Well, I shouldn't say that, because everybody will go, I iron. I don't. Sorry. So this was just a fun series. And I really have to thank you stitchers for a lot of it. So We also released at the same time the second in the Around the Holidays series. This one is Where Liberty Dwells. Kind of a patriotic bent to this one. And I call this one red, white, and bluish. The flags were mostly red, so I don't know that it wasn't necessarily an American flag, but just a fun kind of folk art look to it. And then of course we did the little pillow as well. And I'm missing one of the pin minis. I think it's probably on the floor somewhere. I'll have to look. Hopefully it didn't get vacuumed up. So that was Where Liberty Dwells, and that came out in June. And as I said, in late June, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Yes, late June, we went to Seattle to the Special Olympics. We were there over the 4th of July, and it was just amazing. It was a once in a lifetime experience. It was definitely the highlight of my year, seeing my son compete. And I'm not gonna cry again. I don't know, it was just fantastic. All right, so I'm gonna grab this, because as I said, I was also fortunate enough to teach at the Silver Needle summer event this year. I was one of the designers, and Linda Ebright of Lizzie Kate was the other designer. And so I had a good time visiting with her, and her husband Alan came along, and we enjoyed some long discussions, late night discussions, and it was fun because we actually kind of got to collaborate on a project. Thursday night we did a little project called Summer Berry. This is my portion of it. It was a little pin cushion in this metal tray with this cute little fabric. And then her berry, Linda designed a berry that coordinated color-wise with this. And then I actually finished her berry, and then it included this little wool felt little flower, I guess, if you will. And so the two pieces kind of went together. This is probably one that's not going to be released ever again. That was just really kind of for a make and take kind of thing. So, but you can do something pretty similar like this on your own. The tins, while I still have them, are still available on my website. And I actually, a number came in, as we opened them, we found out they were getting like dented and scratched. So they're actually, if you don't mind a few extra scratches or dents, chipped paint, that kind of thing, I have a scratch and dent sale going on the website. So when you go to Silver Needle or in July, it's like surface of the sun hot. I remember one day I looked at my car and it said it was 104. It was like 100, just 104, not heat index 104, just flat out 104. I didn't even want to know what the heat index was. So my class on Friday was called Be a Pineapple, based on the saying, stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet. Had my flamingo. I included everything in the kit. This fabric, isn't that adorable? It was from Adorn It. And they had got complete instructions and everything to make the tray. And also this really cute another little drum. This was called the Flamboyance Pin Drum, because did you know, I had all these fun flamingo facts I kept dropping on everybody. A grouping of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Who knew? Apparently they do now. And then the piece we actually worked on in class was this cute little pineapple fob. Used a little bit of wool felt. We did a teeny little bit of cross stitch. Lois Lady Dot hand dyed the twine, and then she also did this special color of the velveteen. And oh shoot, I don't have it, but Just Another Button Company did these awesome flamingo pins. And so I really just called in some, I don't want to say favors, because they didn't know me and now I owe them. But just really helped me build what I thought was just a fun class. Yes, this chart will be coming out in 2019. I promise. I do. So, all right. Then when I go to teach something like this, I always take a trunk show, and then sometimes I do a special chart. Now with this particular one, I left the piece with Lindy. It's hers. This is her exclusive. So if you want this chart, you do need to contact Oh, I wanted to make sure I didn't have it upside down. It's called A Needle of Silver and a Heart of Gold. I usually try and come up with something like the handwork pillow, that kind of thing. Something that either is a play on the word, the name of the shop, or the season, or the class, or something like that. So this one, like I said, if you want the chart, I did gift that one to Lindy at the Silver Needle. So you need to contact her. I believe she had it both as kit and chart. But it's just DMC, so kit would be fine, or chart would be fine, excuse me. And so the Silver Needle Retreat was amazing. It was 177 women. Yes, we had some issues with the air conditioning, but I'll tell you, the ladies at Silver Needle, Lindy and all the gals, Mona, everybody, they put on one heck of a retreat. It was hot, but man, oh man, they did not stop just putting out food and putting out more food and having cool drinks there, and the presents that they got in their place every morning. And as I said, it was fun because I got to spend some time with Linda and Alan of Lizzie Kate. And I joked with her after she announced her retirement. It was about a week later, and I emailed her and I said, "So, how's retirement?" But anyway, so it was fun to collaborate with her on the one project and get to know her a little bit more as we spent some time together. So, hey Linda, hey Alan. But so that was pretty much my July. And I think by the time I came home, I went, "Uncle, I'm done." But in August, we had a lot of fun in August too. Deb, I put her picture up. She came to work for me to help me out with just the shipments, and we've never had an employee before, so she works just part-time. She's helping me with shipments, and she's helping me with the bookkeeping. So it's kind of sort of taken hands-on into the next step, because now I feel like I have a better control on that, and then I can have more fun doing more of the fun stuff, the designing and the getting stuff together for teaching and things like that. So I gotta grab this. We're getting to the end here because now we're into August. So I released Wild Salt Air, was a club that I did with a shop the previous year. Was this piece. And part of the reason I think I said I didn't want to do this was because this tin came as part of the kit. And the shop, down Sunshine Lane was the shop, and she bought like every single one known to man that existed of this. And I did a poll in a Facebook group and said, are you guys okay if I put this out and you don't want this? And everyone was like, yes, put it out, put it out. So I did just publish this chart. It's available now through your shop. And it includes the sampler, and it includes the spool. Goes, boy, I've got to start putting everything the right way. With the little seagulls. And then I also did this little corner pocket. It was a corner gauge that you got with the kit, but you can still get obviously not the special one, but you can get corner gauges. I also think this is a fun little design that could be a Bisque cornu, a scissor fob, an ornament, lots of different possibilities. There is also a pin cushion that comes with it. I forget to bring it downstairs every time. It's actually in one of my bathrooms upstairs has beach in it, and so I have that sitting with a bunch of shells. So one day I'll show it. But so I did Wild Salt Air, came out in August. So I kind of was going summer and fall, because then we came out with Live Within Your Harvest, next in the Around the Holidays series. And this definitely was, obviously more of a fall type design, but I just loved the quilts and the corn and the sunflowers and the little girl in her dress and her hat. Okay, I have to tell you this funny story. Somebody emailed me because I designed her as from the back, and I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to embarrass her, but she said to me, "I don't understand what this thing is coming out of her mouth." Is it a straw? I'm sorry. I said, it's from behind. She's looking from behind. So anyway, And as soon as I said that to her, she emailed me back, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. That's why I'm not saying her name. Anyway, so that was, let me see, I missed what month we're on now. That was August. Okay, so September, I did a little more traveling, and we had a couple releases. We had the third Chalk on the Farm, Autumn Acres Farm. And this one, we had Mr. Scarecrow, and Ronnie wasn't in my version, but I think Priscilla put Ronnie in hers. But Calvin the cat, she calls him the meanest cat in the world. I'm not so sure about that, because that cat's getting close. Don't you think that cat's kind of getting closer and closer to her in all the pictures she posted? So just love this one. I don't know, there's just something about fall colors I just really love. And the barn and all the chickens. I love that chicken standing on the garland of pumpkins. And then this is when we introduced the gingham lettering. I'm going to tell you, Priscilla, we talked about this one, and I might have said this in an earlier video. I don't mean to, I'm not going to, well, she said, do you think you can make that gingham lettering, the word autumn? And I was like, okay, we'll try. And I actually think it just made the piece. I think it came out really cute. So I was glad we tried. But also then another of the, okay, hopefully I'm still recording. Yes, I am. I just went into low power mode. So another of the Around the Holiday series, this one, Put on the Hat. And we had that cute little witch. I told you all I was sitting at my computer kind of trying to figure out how to make her hands look. And then the coordinating flapjack pillow on that. And I'm going to stop really quickly right here so I don't lose video, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. We've had some little technical difficulties with this one. So apparently the last 15 minutes of what I was talking about didn't record. So I'm re-recording after we broke everything down. And at this point, I'm like, I'm going to persevere and this video is just going to get done. So, or else I'd have to wear the same outfit tomorrow and, never mind. Anyway, so I think where I left off, we were talking about the Put on the Hat. Which brought us to, oh my goodness, that was in September. In September, I had a fun time. I had a fun girls trip. This was not teaching related. This was just pure stitching fun and visiting with friends. We drove up together to visit a friend in the Rochester, Minnesota area. And we we took a day trip to Stitchville in Minnetonka, and we just had a ton of fun. Saturday night we went to a local winery and had fun doing tastings, and it was a great girls trip. It was a good getaway. And shortly after I got back from that, I left for probably my final teaching trip of the year. So that was back up in the same sort of general area, the Wisconsin area, Madison. The Madison Area Guild, it was an embroiderers guild, was celebrating their 40th anniversary. And they had contacted me several years ago to see if I would consider coming to teach for them. I've taught in that area several times at a couple different guilds functions, and somebody had taken a piece that I did. It was a pincushion in a box, very similar to this, not this specific one, and took it to them and said, this would be a great class. So they approached me, and I said, sure, I would teach it again. But when I found out that it was their 40th anniversary, I said, well, we've got to change it up. And 40th anniversary is ruby. So I decided that I wanted to change the colors. I've taught this particular piece or finish several times, and I've changed it each time. So I've kept the alphabet, but I just brought in these wonderful colors. When I was looking for inspiration with this, I found online some cakes and little petit fours that were decorated to celebrate somebody's 40th anniversary. So I just wanted that to look like a little cake, a little piece of cake or a little petit four with a little bit of, you know, lace trim on it. This is just such a fun piece. And if you make a pincushion, you got to have a place to put your pincushion. So we did a few other things in class too, some just fun little extras. Like I said, I always kind of tuck something else into class. But so the first day of class, we finished the pincushion. They did pre-stitching on that one. And then the second day, we actually made this box. And the fabric is Project Red. I believe it's a Moda fabric. I cannot remember who the designer is on the fabric line, but I'm always asking, oh, what fabric is that? Project Red. I believe it's been out for a little bit, so if it's something that you're interested in, part of the reason why I chose this is because the fabric on the inside of the box has that writing. It's very similar to that little green pincushion that I did earlier. It's the same designer, but it's got all the words in red were written. It's all the different names of red. So it says red, wine, brick, crimson, mahogany, merlot, cherry, rose, ruby. So I thought it was just kind of a fun little surprise to put in there. And everybody finished their box as well, and a lot of the other fun little projects. So while I was up there, I actually have been trying to work with Linz of Madison for a while now, getting our schedules straight to try and come up and teach a class. And when I found out I was going to be teaching there, I emailed Cathy and said, hey, I am going to be in your neighborhood. And so we coordinated the class. And then I ended up making the pieces coordinate as well. So because quite a few gals came in, someone from North Carolina, some from Indiana, some from Minnesota, came to Wisconsin to take both of my classes, which that's pretty cool. And so I thought, how fun would it be is if they have a box and there's a little bit of headroom in here. So what if they had, I call this class Inspired, and the part red was in brackets. So what if they had a needle book that fit in there as well? And I had this tied earlier to show you how to open it up, but there's this little ring there that the ribbon strands go through, and you open it up like this, and you've got your little places for your pins and your needles, and that's what the back looks like. So you got your initials on there, and you'll see it's different, a different design, but it coordinates with that other pincushion with the other project. So for the gals that I said they did the twofer, they did both classes, they had a project that went all together. Had the alphabet on the front, and then I just thought, I love designing for specific pieces like this, so this just kind of fit down over that. And then I did include as well some scissor charms. We did finish these too in class. Those kind of coordinated with it as well. So I took a lot of the motifs. They got to personalize with their initials and just have a fun time with it. So the whole class fit together. And yes, this will be released at some point. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I just love the way this one came out. It's such an elegant piece, and I love the color combination. So don't worry, it will come out again at some point. So that was 3 days actually, one at Linz of Madison, and then a 2-day class with the Madison Area Stitchers Guild, helping them to celebrate their Ruby anniversary. So congratulations again to them. And after that, my husband and I were able to take a few days and go up to Door County and just kind of spend some downtime there. And it was a beautiful area. I had never been there. We did not have, it was kind of funny because we didn't have like the greatest of weather. We had one really nice sunny day and then one day that was pretty misty, but we didn't care because we just relaxed and hung out. We ate some good seafood, some good fish, and went to Al Johnson's and visited the goats on the roof and all kinds of fun stuff. So a lot of fun to go up there. Now, again, when I go to a shop at Linz had my trunk show then for the rest of the month, and I designed this little guy, Autumn Autumn Skies and Pumpkin Pies. It was a chart pack. It came with the wool felt, the button, the ribbon, and this pretty little backing fabric. Cathy and Lynn sold through every kit that I made, and I had a few left here, and I sold through those very, very quickly. And I don't often do this, but when I get that many emails asking about a design, I want to make it work for everybody. So you don't need to email anymore. This design, I've kind of hatched a little plan. This design will be coming out in 2019. It will include the little wool felt and the button, not the other. You'll be able to get the other stuff. But I've got another small design that just coordinates perfectly with it and makes it a cute little set. So just wait, this will be coming out. And so if you missed it the first time round, you will be able to get it. If you did get it the first time round, you'll probably like the coordinating design too. So that is happening in 2019. So that was pretty much, oh my goodness, was that September? That was September. And somehow I think I skipped October. Because I think we took October. I didn't have any releases. I didn't have any classes. I think we got to the end of October and went, don't we need to be going somewhere? But anyway, so we got to, this brings us to November. And November, we had a couple releases. Oh, another one of the, let me see if I find it. See, I packed all this away when I thought the video worked. Technology. So this is the 5th in the Around the Holidays. This is the Christmas version. I Hear the Bells. With our little putz houses across the bottom. And then I based this, I did the vintage, what I call vintage Christmas colors. If you've seen any of my posts on Instagram or Facebook, I collect the vintage Shiny Bright. So I did it in those vintagey colors. Same thing with the flapjack pillow. Cecile and Rachel designed a new pin mini. These are actually new pins. I don't know if they've got them in buttons or yet or not, or if they will, but because they know how much I love the vintage Shiny Bright, so they like to surprise me every once in a while. They always come up with the perfect button or pin, and just made a set that really goes very well with I Hear the Bells. So that was one of the November releases. The other November release I have been completely blown away by. It is A Year of Celebrations. This was the chart. Well, here's February. Let me see if I can find January. Oh, January. You've probably seen this a lot around. This was originally a series that was in Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. I'm not going to go into great detail here about it because, well, quite frankly, I feel like we've been talking about this chart every day, which I love. I've got a blog post. My husband actually joined me for a video floss tube, and I've got tutorials on how to make my my clipboard. When this was in the magazine actually chose to put these all into 4x4 frames. They wanted me to design a size that would fit into a 4x4 frame. When they sent the charts back to me, I didn't get the frame, and eventually, this was, I want to say, like in 2014 was when they actually got published. I designed them in 2013. And so obviously Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine is no longer, so we brought this out, and there is a stitch along going on. That kind of has tickled me because I've never had one of my designs get a whole special Facebook group for it's Hands-On Design Year of Celebration Stitch Along. I'll make sure I put the link below. So you can go join. We've got quite a few members already. I think Judy, who is the administrator for the group, had said we're closing in really quickly on 500. And when we hit 500, we're going to do some kind of fun prize or something like that. So stay tuned. And people have just been stitching these left and right. They really don't take long. It's a 3-inch square. And go check out the video, the prior floss tube. I have a tutorial on how to, like I said, on how to make this, and a blog post that gives a lot of the information about it. So I'm just so tickled that, we're going to celebrate our way through 2019 with these designs. So, and you all have come up with some amazing finishes. People are doing them. I just saw a gorgeous one, not was it yesterday? Somebody had done it on blue linen. I love everybody's choices. That is what I really think has been neat to see this year. The thing that has really become apparent to me is I get a lot of people saying, I'm coming back to stitching. I love the things that are going on in our industry right now. People are coming back to stitching after not stitching for years, and they're loving the projects. They're willing to change colors, to change linen, to try a unique finish, to look around them and see objects around them and how can I use that to finish, and just really I don't know, it's a lot of, I know I say a lot that this is fun or that's cool, but it really is. And it's a fun time to be stitching. There's so many great designers out there. There's so many beautiful pieces, large samplers, reproduction samplers, all the way to just, you know, the cute little 3" by 3" piece. And again, the fun part about this one is the whole year's worth of designs are in one chart. So that's kind of cool. And so that was year-end celebrations. Join the Stitch Along, check out the posts on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and be inspired by them. So in December, we had one last release, and that was the final Chalk on the Farm. Let's see. Winter Wonderland Farm. It's my last Floss tube talked about this, so I won't go into great detail here, but I just love this one. Lots of we had the little piggies and more chickens. I think the chickens made an appearance in each one, and we had a new cow. This was not Bessie the cow. Somebody said, oh, we should name her Flossie the cow. So she is Flossie the cow. And just a lot of fun motifs with the snowman. And of course, then we also had the sign, the Winter Wonderland sign with more of the gingham lettering. So cool. I just love it. So that, oh, and then I did also, I don't do too many complimentary designs throughout the year. I do the one on Valentine's. I usually do one for market. And then this year, I threw one out there for Christmas. You can get this, I think I put it out in my last newsletter. I will probably try and fit it into a blog post somewhere, or if you are in the Hands-On Design Stitchers Facebook group, in the files section, quite a few of my complimentary designs I post there. I post links to them there. So check that out. This, just a simple little thing. I did not even give you colors. I just said pick your 3 favorite shades. And I've seen so many adorable finishes and everybody's different takes on them. So I think that's neat how you made it your own. So that was it. 2018. It's a wrap. It's already 2019. So I do want to show you 2 of the designs for 2019. Let me tell you, about 3 or 4 months ago, I was feeling really confident that we were so far ahead of the game. And then we're still ahead of the game, but we're picking up speed, shall we say. It's always a hassled and harried few months to head to market, but so much fun to get to market and show off my babies to you, and also it's a great time. I get together with designers that are friends and shop owners that are friends, and it's such a fun time. And so, but I actually will have a few releases before market, and so 2 are, the information is going out to shop owners tomorrow, and by the time I post this video, actually they'll have already had the information. So I'm going to sneak it here in the into the video. But this one is called Ready, Set, Snow. He was actually a design that, remember how I said sometimes I do designs for So Much to Love, Karen Torres's Bag of the Month, and I think he was 2 years ago, and just a cutie. It's just a very quick chart. Obviously this is like ornament size, so you could stitch this pretty quickly. And he comes with the star and then a little bit of wool felt. You're just going to cut a little snip of wool felt and just couch it down for his nose, because the nose is not actually charted on there. I just love embellishment with added objects. And then the Around the Holidays series wraps up Grown with Love. Got a couple little lovebirds on there. This one I wanted to be sort of a, I'll call it like a love letter. Something that celebrated Valentine's Day, but could also carry you through to the promise of spring and carry you through those sometimes dreary, very cold, bitter winter months. And just almost give you like a vintage, a sampler type feel, but with a few little modern touches in there. I just loved the color palette. Again, I worked with Lady Dot, Lois of Lady Dot for the velveteen, and then Just Another Button Company for the pin set. And then of course, this, if you had seen my website a few weeks ago, I actually put this as a sneak peek up on my website to see. It's got like a little slideshow on the main page. They call them sliders is the technical term. There's usually 3 photos, and I change them out intermittently, and then I just snuck this on there because I just wanted to see if anybody would notice. And a few of you did, and because I did get a few, whoa, okay, where do I get that? So I'm sneaky like that sometimes. But again, so the flapjack pillow, I'm so glad. I just have to say thank you. I'm so glad that you all have embraced this series like you did. I talked about it earlier, and this was so much fun to design. And I feel like with every series that I design, I kind of grow my style and color use and things like that. And that's the fun part of my job. And so I do appreciate that. So that's a wrap up of 2018. A look into 2019 a little bit. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sticking with me through this video. A little longer than some of my normal ones. So I look forward to seeing you out there in your posts and your comments and your likes. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, enjoy the stitch.